She's Adelaide's homegrown star with a distinctive fashion sense. Logie Award-winning Melissa Bergland has certainly made an impression on national television.
Tell us about Winners and Losers. How amazing has the experience been?
It's been incredible, and to think that all of this has sort of happened in my life in 3 years. I've gone from having never acted professionally to just looking forward to a 15-hour workday like it's completely normal.
You look like you're great mates. And I gather even when you're not working and you're not on air, you still hang out together.
Yeah. As Virginia says, if it wasn't so wonderful, it'd be disgusting. Like, it's kind of sickening.
Winners and Losers is essentially about the highs and lows of friendships. And the popular drama, now in production for its 3rd series, has really struck a chord with Aussie viewers.
Yeah, I think because it is about that friendship, and I think that people like to see the elements of their own lives that they really cherish reflected in something that they watch. So, I mean, it's the same reason that Rafters works. It's that wonderful real-life scenarios, drama, how people deal with things, and it's really fascinating watching each of the characters dealing with things not necessarily the way that you would deal with it, but it's interesting to see other avenues that are taken in reaction to this one event.
Yeah. And, of course, in this season, we've seen Jenny find love. That was big.
Yeah, only to muck it all up. She does that quite a lot. She's very good at taking her perfect life and then sabotaging it. But yes, she's looked forever for it, and it was right under her nose the whole time. Yes. Yes, of course I'll marry you. Oh, how wonderful! I think she's so much fun though, because she's so brash. She's so opinionated, and she just says what she wants. And I like to think that we're quite similar, but I have a little bit more tact than her when dealing with some situations.
So you were here recently as the face of the Adelaide Vintage Expo. What was that like?
Oh, it was great. It was, you know, all these people there just celebrating kind of beautiful vintage dress and music, and yeah, it was great.
And it's obviously something that's very close to your heart, because you obviously love vintage.
Yes, I love dressing like this. I think that it's a bit of a nod to the beauty of a bygone era.
The glamour.
Yeah, the glamour, that's right.
So you obviously quite like a bit of vintage yourself.
Yeah, I do. I like the kind of nod to old school kind of glamour. And I think also dressing vintage and dressing recycled is a really sustainable and ethical way to sort of pad out your wardrobe a little bit, you know, fix up a seam here and give it a bit of a preen and clean it up, and you can take something pre-loved and make it quite nice again.
You are obviously a gorgeous South Australian and Adelaidean, so what are your favourite parts of Adelaide or South Australia?
I love Stirling and Aldgate. I love the hills. Going to school on the opposite side of town to where I lived, because I grew up Grange Beach, lived in the same house my whole life. Mum still lives there. I love Grange Beach. I think it's so beautiful and clean and quiet. It's kind of undiscovered. Grange all the way down to Semaphore I love, but I always loved going to my friends' houses in Stirling and Aldgate because it was kind of completely different from what I was used to seeing growing up.
So, Melissa, it's not just you holding the South Australian flag on Winners and Losers. Who else is on the show?
Well, Melanie Vallejo, who plays Sophie, and Francis Greenslade, who plays my dad, Brian Gross. We're all ex-Adelaideans, and you can tell that by the way we say dance and chance.
And it's interesting because even though you now live and work interstate, is Adelaide still home?
Yeah, and I find myself saying that as well. People say, oh, you know, what are you doing the weekend? Oh, I'm just going home. I'm like, but you just like, oh no, just, you know, home. Yeah.
Adelaide home.
Exactly. It'll always be that. You really think about the future?
I know it sounds a bit full on, but can't wait.